thank you very much for joining me today. We have been working together for the past few months. I have been doing PR for Enfys, and she has had some incredible results with PR. So before we dive into that, tell us more about who you are and what you do.
So thank you for having me. Yeah, Dina, I stepped into working with you because sales training with Enfys is growing fast. And the thing that's been holding us back is audience growth. And it's such a bottleneck for scaling businesses. It's like, you've got an incredible thing, but what is the stopper is like not enough people knowing you exist. So this is where we're at. We've got an amazing sales training business. We run Vibrant Connections, which is where we met, my online networking membership. We run incredible events. We've got our retreat. We've got our Golden Peacock Awards. So we run our own business awards. Everything is growing, and the audience needs to grow with it, as well as the credibility and visibility of the brand, which is why I stepped into your world. And I'm really, really glad that I did.
And I am too as well. So I would love to know, how did you feel about PR before we worked together?
So my business is 4 years in, and we started with the intention to make an impact. We weren't ever going to be staying small. We were a startup, and we wanted to establish this business quickly, and that's what we've done over the past 4 years. We started with networking, organic growth, awards strategy, and there's always been this part of the jigsaw, which is PR, which I always knew would inform part of our scaling story. And I think it's a matter of deciding, not when you're ready, because you never feel really ready. It's more about deciding on the outcome that you're trying to achieve. So if you want to get seen, get known, and make that massive impact for your clients and yourself with your business, then there's just going to be this moment where you just decide that you can't stay hidden. And so before I started with PR, I was like, is it the right time? Is it the right time? It was a bit of like how much is it going to cost as well? And is it a lot of effort? Because 2024, we were really time poor because we were moving house and it was all like yada yada. And then I was like, how can I find somebody who's going to make it really easy for me, And so I did, and so I did. So it wasn't like, I wasn't fearful of PR. It was more just a matter of timing as to when that would join our story. But I know people do get really, really hesitant and think like, oh, I don't know if I've got a story to share. And to be honest, I know that I'll have more of a story to share in a few years, but we've got to take our audience with us, right? I'm still at the beginning of my journey, so you could think that there's not all that much to share, but there is, and it's been amazing, what your journalists have dug out of me, what I've been probed about, what I've been asked about. People are always really interested in our sheep.
And yes, I know, they're famous.
So if I look bright red as well, by the way, referring to our sheep, we're here in Snowdonia, and 10 minutes ago my husband had us out on our bikes in Snowdonia, whizzing down the hills, and I was like, oh my god, the time, rushed back here. But that's what people are interested in about your life, your story, and how your business lives in harmony to a certain extent with your real life, and that's what people have been interested in. So you've got a feature in the Sunday Times. We've been in Wales Online, Daily Express, Daily Post, Wales on Sunday, Startups, Authority magazine, or that's coming, I think. It's catapulted the visibility.
And there was the you were talking about, people are really interested in the sort of the story behind the business, and one of the pieces that was really popular was talking about you moving back to Wales and living, a more kind of rural lifestyle, and obviously tying that into your business and how you were able to grow your business. You'd lost your travel business during the pandemic, and then you were obviously launching sales training with Enfys, and you've been able to grow that and had so much success with that you've been able to kind of relocate. And like you said, that piece was picked up by so many different publications. And I think sometimes there are these stories that just they capture people's imagination, and there was a lot of interest in that one. And then, like you say, that went into the Times as well, a slightly different version of it. So yeah, I think it's just reassuring for people to know as well, like you say, when they think, oh, I don't know what the story is, or I don't know if I have a story, people are really interested in just hearing your journey.
I think people are just really interested in other humans. Do you know what I mean? And there's power to the mundane. Like, if you think about like what people are really interested in, like people watch Gogglebox. You know, people watch other people watching TV because they want to see their reactions. Like, there's a story in the micro moments of people's lives and the decisions that sit in the fabric of building their business. And we can't see it ourselves. You know, me moving to home to Wales is not like, actually it was a pretty big deal for me and the family, but I wouldn't have thought that it was newsworthy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not for me to decide, is it? It's up to the press, it's up to the people that you put us in front of to decide if there's a story there. My job is just to make it available should somebody be interested. And I think sometimes there is that hesitancy to be like, oh, I've got nothing to say, or I don't want to take up space, or only one person will read it. And you're like, well, show up for that one person, you know, show up for that one person every day, and that interest in your story builds. And then eventually you've got to start speaking to people outside of your natural orbit, you know, to leapfrog into a bigger audience, a bigger space. We've got to take the plunge and put yourself out there. And honestly, it's kind of scary, you know?
I was going to say, how did you find it? Because I know for anyone doing PR, when you've not done it before, it is daunting, isn't it? And especially, I think, you know, when you're sharing like your personal journey and your story, how did you find that side of it?
So it's funny because in England, I'm like in England and in Wales. In England, I feel kind of anonymous, you know, like we can just put ourselves out there. We can go for awards. We can go in the press. We can create articles, and you kind of like, you're known by your circle, but it doesn't feel too exposing. Here in Wales, where I'm like, my family's here, my school friends are here, it feels a lot more exposing actually to be in the Welsh press. And we've also, I know this is separate to the work we've done, because I've got some contacts in TV, and the TV production like came and filmed my retreat recently and filmed me, and I was having to speak Welsh, and they're doing all sorts of stuff there. And I'm like, it does feel exposing. There's no denying it. You know, I don't think there's a point that you're going to be like, right, I'm completely comfortable, let's do it. I'm like, no, I'm uncomfortable and doing it anyway to a certain extent, and I'll get used to it. And the other thing that I vowed was, I'm just not going to read the comments, because they are, you know, they are so brutal. And you're just like, I just don't want to know what the negative comments are. And the positive, I will embrace the positive and try and disregard any negativity. But nothing, you know, I didn't get swallowed up by the internet, and nothing really bad happened. And now the brand is reinforced, like galvanized by this external credibility piece that, you know, we are 5-time award winning. We've got hundreds of testimonials and social proof, but now we've kind of got national proof. Like, well, there's a stamp. If you look at my website now, or on my LinkedIn banner, or my email signature, or any documentations that I'm putting out to corporates now, it can say we've got our awards column, and it's got the as seen in piece. I don't think you can put a price on that credibility piece. And you told me, Dina, make a press page. And I was like, oh, I've got nothing to say. And then 24 hours later, I was like, Dina, I've collated all my press, and my press page. It looks
amazing.
It's shit hot, isn't it? Like, we've got we've got the show reels, we've got the national press, I'm a columnist for Brand New magazine, got the speaker podcast appearances, the author, we've got a bestseller book, and it just puts it into a place where, yeah, in isolation, these things are nothing, you know. In isolation, it's just like one thing there, and one thing there, and one thing there. Bring it together, the compounding effect of having a visibility strategy that comes into this kind of crescendo is vital, because your people, your ideal clients, Dina, and I'm one of them, they're not just going to be doing PR. You know, they're also going to be collecting their social proof. They're also going to be on podcast guesting. They might run their own process. They're also going to be doing their awards. So the missing piece of the jigsaw is the PR. Like, they sit in harmony. Like, they don't need to be in isolation. Like, now I'll do that, and now I'll do that, and now I'll do that. Like, they're really intertwined, which, you know, it comes together beautifully. And anybody who wants well, I was inspired by Dina's press page. You should go and look at Dina's press page, and if you want to have a look at my press page, like, do it, because all of these things, they really did feel not insignificant completely. The Times bit was really nice, but they are kind of insignificant by themselves, but they compound, which is why we need to build the PR presence, right?
Yeah, and there's no point just doing like one piece of PR. You want that consistent PR because it builds momentum, and then, like you say, it is that compound effect of having, you know, being able to say, like, the as featured in strip of logos that you have, that is really powerful. And it's like the third party endorsement. I think that you can't really get that from other types of marketing. It's you know, these well-known publications that are essentially endorsing you. That is so powerful. I think from like my AirPod, the buying psychology perspective, it's so powerful.
Yeah, for me, right, so I'm a sales trainer, sales strategist, sales mentor. I'm going to help you make more sales more comfortably. And ultimately, the only thing that sales marketing journey is built to do is to reassure your audience that you are fit to serve them. That you are fit to serve them at the price point that you are currently charging. And you can get the social proof, okay? And that will reinforce and validate your services and your pricing. You can get the awards, and that will do the same. And then you get the PR piece. And this is the unexpected. Do you want me to talk to you about unexpected outcome?
Yeah.
About PR, right? Is that not only did it like expand my audience in a way that I can't measure, by the way. There's no way to measure the impact of it. But it did expand the audience. What it did, though, was it reinforced the credibility to my existing audience. So they re-bought into the brand. So my peers now, they, you know, I could have been just like, oh, sales training, and then I've seen her around. But now it's like, oh, she's seen everywhere. You know, it reinforces your position with your existing audience, which is actually really important as well, because as a brand, we're always communicating with our current and next clients, right? And with that, the piece that I was going to say that was unexpected with regard to that is there's the external like validation, but there's a lot happening internally as to how you yourself see your brand, how you yourself see your role in the space, how you see your voice as a contributor to your own industry or your space, how it elevates your own leadership in a way that it's kind of unexpected, and there's a little bit of whiplash to that. You know, you're like, oh my god, like, people expect me to be all this, like, got my stuff all together. You're like, I'm still just like a crazy little country bumpkin zooming around the hills, running around, actually like running or cycling, but the perception of the brand is that it's credible, and it is credible. You know, it's highly credible, but it's nice to have that external mention, that external validation, because it changes how you yourself see yourself. And we've just now done award entries, so there's this ricochet effect now. We put in our award entries for Best Service Provider and Best Network for Vibrant Connections yesterday for the Best Businesswomen Awards, and we can mention all of the press that we've had. You see, so
it's really powerful.
The press that we have will inform whether the status of our entry, and then the awards that we will no doubt like win later finalist, silver, gold, who knows? But the point is that we'll enter enough awards that we will win some. The fact that we become multi-award winning again will inform the quality of the press that we get later. So they live in this like ecosystem of visibility. So yeah, for me it's vital. I mean, it's really enjoyable. It's like, oh, what's Dina wanting me to do now? Right, and we sit down and write an article and all that.
Yeah, I think, like you say, because it works together with a lot of the things that people are already doing. And so if people are doing pitching for speaking gigs or corporate work or awards, then being able to use the PR will help you to win those things. And then when you get those things, that helps you to get better PR. So it does all work together. And it's good to hear that it's fun as well, because I think a lot of people are just like, oh my God, it's overwhelming, it's daunting.
It is,
so it's nice to know it can be fun. Yeah.
I think your ideal client is curious to see what they can do, right? They just want to like, I'm really curious as to just like, oh, I wonder what this brand can do. And I wonder how many people we can help. And I wonder who's reading it that gets inspired. And I wonder, like, how my article there, like, years later, will speak to somebody who reads it. And I'm like, if I've got something to share, then the people who don't want to read it, they don't have to read it, but you have to put yourself out there and just maybe embrace it with a little bit of a light touch and not worry so much. And yes, it's kind of exposing and it's weird to begin with, and it's still weird for me. Right, so this is still brand new. We've only been working together since January, and it's June now. But you get used to see yourself as somebody who is, oh, I'm somebody who contributes to these national, like, these spaces, and with PR. Your visibility grows, your audience grows, your sales grows, your pricing can certainly be put up, and that the number of clients that you have goes up, the amount of impact that you have, and that in turn it creates choices for you, right? And fulfilling work. And yes, it's a bit of a long game, and you can't see exactly what creates what. You kind of got to trust it a little bit that overall that compounding effect really does have an impact. But anybody who's sitting on the fence thinking, is PR for me? You'll never find out until you try, will you? Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to move before you're ready. If you're an entrepreneur, that's like the hardest pill to swallow, is that nobody ever feels ready. And if you feel ready, you've probably been ready a really long time and missed quite a lot of opportunities as you're waiting there. So, you've got to get... somebody said to me once, and she still didn't do it, she said, I've been waiting on the fence so long, I've got splinters in my bum. And that was regard to my sales training. And I was like, I don't think I can work with somebody who is so indecisive. And we've got to be like, are you all in or not? And if you are, then PR is a great magnifier for that intention and for that impact. And obviously your work is wonderful. I've got a lot of my own clients that have gone into your membership and work with you.
Yes.
And I couldn't recommend you highly enough, frankly.
Thank you. Yeah, I think, like you say as well, it's having the results that you get from it that are kind of, some of them are intangible, some of them are tangible, but it's doing positive things for your business. And I think that's what it comes down to. That it's funny, actually, one of my clients, she had someone who reached out to her and is now hiring her for some work. And it was from a guest article that she'd written like 4 or 5 years ago. And so that you've got those like guest articles and things that you've written that it might be in a few weeks, in a few months, in a few years, whatever, those people reach out. But also, like you say, you're building the credibility and the trust and the audience growth and, all of that stuff is all happening all the time when you have that consistent media coverage. And I think it is that mix of some of the sort of instant results, some of the longer term results. But yeah, if you know you're going to do it, it's going to have a positive impact on your business.
Yeah. And you just got to, like, business development, PR is part of your sales strategy, and because visibility is part of your sales strategy, right? we're in it for the long game. You know, yeah, we're in it for the quick cash injections and the quick wins, but really, we're in it for years, you know? And the foundations we lay now will pay dividends down the line. So when you're looking at return or reward and or investment, you can't just look at it within like too short a time frame. You can't be like, right, will I get it back within the same month? You're like, well, probably not. Will I get it back over a few months? Probably yes. And will I get it back time over the course of, you know, forevermore? Yeah. So you've got to think of it, you know, is it like the cost per wear? You know, if you get like a favourite pair of jeans.
Yeah.
And if you wear it like a zillion times, it lowers the cost per wear. But yeah, it's for anybody watching who's serious about growing their business, their impact, their sales, then your audience growth and your visibility is a fundamental part of it. And it's just for them to decide whether PR is the right avenue. And I think that, you know, we have to think about timing as well. So networking is like, go for networking, build that PR like within your close circle, build your own community, build your local reputation. But if you want a springboard, then you've got to have other mechanisms. We've used ads as well to grow the audience, but that doesn't give you credibility in the same way as PR. You know, you can build your list, of course, but what are they going to see when they get into that list and into that space? You want to represent the brand that you want to represent, and that is a highly credible, well, for me, award-winning, but also like well-respected brand that's been seen as seen in these various publications. It's important, and it's good to contribute.
Yeah. Amazing. Oh, it's been so good to hear about the impact that the PR's had as well. I think it's always really inspiring for people to hear and to know that it's possible as well, because I think so many people think, I don't know if it's for me, I don't know if I've got the right story and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, knowing that you don't have to have it all figured out before you start working on PR.
Well,
you can figure out the stories and exactly. I can help you with it.
Yeah, that's the point of that's the point of you, Dina. Yeah. Like their job is just to know they want to be in the press. Your job is to meet them at that cross section and make it happen. You know, and that's what you did. I would have no idea whatsoever how to do it myself, and I don't want to do it myself. I just wouldn't have time, and I'd probably just delay. You know, I'd be like, oh no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas you just click the button. So yeah.
Amazing, thank you. If people want to find out more about you, where can they find you online?
So I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram. I am building a new list builder, so I haven't got any link to share with you. The Business Lounge is my free Facebook group, and Vibrant Connections is my £29 a month networking and sales strategy membership, which you're a part of. Got wonderful 120 wonderful small business owners in there. So yeah, I'm around.
And go and look at Enfys' press page as well.
Yeah, I'll put the link. Yeah, the press page is good, right? I think I'm pretty chuffed with that. With that. So thank you for all your help so far in helping putting our brand out there beyond what we would know how to do ourselves.
Thank you. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that all with us. If anyone wants to know more about how to get my support so that you can create your own PR strategy and have my help to pitch the press yourself, I do have an offer for a VIP day, a VIP PR strategy day. Send me a DM and I will give you more details. And if that's not quite right, I will let you know about other ways I can support you as well. Thank you so much, Enfys. I will speak to you soon.
My pleasure. I'm going to go and cool down after that massive cycle now. I'm going to put it on Instagram in a minute and you'll be like, oh, that's what she was doing. No wonder she was freaking boiling. So thanks for a brilliant chat. And good to connect with your people in the chat as well. Thank you for watching.